This crisis, as you know, has been an unprecedented challenge for state government. Agencies have met this challenge and continued to provide critical services to the people of Georgia. I'm proud to the thousands of state employees who have done an incredible job teleworking and adapting to the new normal. To ensure that quality of service continues, starting May the 18th, specific divisions of state agencies will begin to phase back into limited in-person operations. In my executive order, I have tasked the Department of Administrative Services with promulgating guidance for state agencies to safely reopen their offices. As we work through this process, we will issue that guidance to employees, contractors, and constituents. We will be making more detailed announcements in the coming days on how we will be phasing into limited in-person operations at state agencies.